Yes, we are live. Welcome back, my dear friends. This is episode number 70 of Zero Point Healing Show. And in this video, we are going to talk about how to find your soulmate using emotion code therapy. Now, for a very long time, I had been waiting to interview someone in this beautiful modality of emotion code, and finally I've got one today, and she is so amazing, and I'm already in complete awe and surprise on how this beautiful modality has the ability to help us transform our blocks. So before I move on to my beautiful guest today, just a short intro about me. I'm Vishnupriya, and I'm certified in multiple different healing modalities. And through the journey of my life transformation, moving through these different amazing healing modalities, I found that each of these holistic healing modalities, they have amazing power of transformation within them. And when I went and got certified in all of these different ones, I saw that each of these ones actually helped me move on and reach to that next step, next level in my life. I think that kind of inspired me to put together this kind of a platform of Zero Point Healing, where the website itself, zeropointhealing.com, is a web directory of all different holistic healing modalities and all healers and practitioners and instructors and therapists and facilitators who are helping humanity transform. So that's what Zero Point Healing is all about. In my personal work, I am an intuitive business coach for spiritual entrepreneurs at this time. And my mission is helping spiritual entrepreneurs build their healing business and take it to next level. So in my personal work as well, I saw that Zero Point Healing can be an amazing platform that I can help spiritual entrepreneurs grow, and again, at the end of the day, helping the earth and helping the humanity transform. So that's about me. Now I'm moving on to my beautiful guest for today. Welcome, Kelli. Thank you so much for being with me today. So tell us a little bit about your background and how emotion code and psyche and all of that entered into your life.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be with you. So I started out doing my college in psychology and sociology, the study of why do people do the things they do and why do groups of people do the things that they do. And I've got my degree, and I wanted to go on to be a marriage and family therapist. So I got my degree in counseling, my master's. And with the program, you start doing thousands of hours of internships. And my internships were pretty hardcore. I got into gang diversion. I got into parenting the difficult teen, loss prevention. So I'm working with people who have been caught committing theft, and then I'm working to help rehabilitate them, and the court has ordered them to work with me. I was doing in-home therapy for children who were being abused, but their abuser is still in the home. So that was really challenging. But what I saw, since they had to be court mandated to be with me, is nobody wanted to change. Nobody understood why they were there, and they were very angry and defensive. So it was very challenging to offer tools to heal when nobody wanted to heal at that time. So at the same time, I started doing a lot of yoga, and I watched how within 1 hour, they seemed like different people. I watched people walk into the room, and then 1 hour later, they had a light in their eyes. They had a spring in their step. Their chest was open and lifted. And I decided to switch my entire career, and I became a yoga teacher, a meditation teacher, and a mindfulness teacher as well. So I did that for the next decade. Now it's been 14 years I've done that for. And I still do that. But then about 4 or 5 years ago, my best friend, she was hiking. She's a few years younger than me. And she jumped from one boulder to the next, and she fell and broke her back. A little vertebra, a little portion of the vertebra got damaged. But when she went to the hospital, they airlifted her out. They said, we don't see the need for surgery. We're just going to let your body heal. And we used to have lunch every week. And so over the course of 2 years, I watched her try to heal herself and nothing worked. She tried osteopaths. She tried physical therapy. She had very painful massage where they would roll through the ligaments and the tendons. She did acupressure, acupuncture. She did kinesiology for sports, where they were determining the movement of her body and how to unlock it, and nothing worked. So finally she was taking pain pills, and finally she had surgery, and that still didn't work. So I watched her pain journey, but she never gave up. And after the surgery didn't work, she finally was referred to this doctor who was an emotional kinesiologist. He did muscle testing to determine what's going on with your body. Is it structural? Is it physical? Is it emotional? And her body said, it's emotional. And she said, there's no way. I drive around with an ice pack on my back. It's totally physical. And so then she'd come back to the doctor a week later, and he said, well, let's check. And her body said, it's emotional. So they worked together for a very long time. She had notebooks filled with things that were going on, that were uncovered in their journey. But after a few sessions with him, pain went away. And so me, in the, all the studies that I had done with psychology and with mindset and with yoga and with meditation, I never had seen anything like this. How do you ask your body what's going on through a muscle test and get an answer? And how does that heal you as soon as the answer is revealed? It was so amazing. So I decided I needed to get studying this modality as well. I veered off into a couple of different things than what he was doing, but definitely in the same modality of asking the body through applied kinesiology what is going on to get to the root of it, and then using a couple modalities to be able to transform and heal. So then I started using it with my family. I started doing a new type of internship with the Emotion Code, where we see 30 clients working under a supervisor. So then I started seeing all the amazing magical benefits. And now 4 years later, I've been in private practice myself here in Encinitas, California. It's amazing.
Wow, what a fantastic journey. And again, universe conspires to show us different things that we are here to do, and it kind of leads that kind of path. So beautiful. All right, so now let's talk about the emotion code itself. And so let us know a little bit. Of course, we are going to talk on the topic of soulmate as well. And that's interesting. It's a total different topic of all. So first, let us know what emotion code really is, and then let's talk about how it can help us find our soulmate.
That's great. Emotion code was developed by Dr. Bradley Nelson. He was a chiropractor, and he developed about 25 years ago. He would ask God, he's a religious man, he said, please show me how I can most effective help my patients. Please show me the way. I want to help my patients heal. And he believes that this information was downloaded. He started muscle testing and asking people, is there a trapped emotion that is blocking your healing? And developed a list. When he started out, there were 200 lists of possibilities of emotions that may be blocking your energy field, causing a disruption in the signals. We are electromagnetic beings. And over the years, he brought this list down to about 60 emotions, which may be considered stressful or traumatic emotions. And when he would work with patients and he would release the emotional impact of this trauma, they would heal. And he started finding out that more than 80% of what was presenting with his clients, it was emotional. So he started transitioning into this type of energy healing, and he didn't want to keep it private. He wanted to share it with the world. So he trains us practitioners to be able to do this. And also, and through his book, you can get his book and learn how to do it yourself. In fact, my family and I started using it. I have a 14-year-old daughter and a husband. We were using it long before I got certified, and it was something we would use on the regular. And we were using it so much, I thought, I need to get certified in this modality. It's something that is a wonderful tool. So it's a way to, through a muscle test, which is a simple arm test, and basically the concept there is everything's stored in the supercomputer of you. Everything you've ever been through, every touch, taste, experience, it's all in there. And so I'm asking your brain a question. Your brain is scanning the supercomputer of you. And if it resonates as truth, your brain will send a strong neural signal down the arm. So when I apply pressure, we call it a muscle lock, it'll hold. But if I ask your brain a question that causes stress, or that is what we might call negative, or something that is a no or a false response, then when I ask the brain a question, then it's a weak neural signal, and the body brings the arm down just like a wilting flower. It goes all the way down because it's a disrupted signal. It's like a short circuit in the body. So I'm able to ask, is there a trapped emotion blocking you from something? And most often it's a yes. And then I'll say, well, I have this little list. I say, is it in column A or column B? Is it in an odd row or an even row? And we'll get it narrowed down to the precise emotion that it is, at least a synonym of that emotion. And then I'll ask, do we need to know more about this? Do we need to bubble something up from the subconscious into the conscious mind? Sometimes we do. And usually it's just, what age were you? Sometimes, what circumstance was it? Or who was it about? For example, anger at age 12. Oh, I remember I got into a huge fight with my father. I left for a number of days, and then I ended up coming back. So it could be something like that. So once we identify it, then we can release it. And we are trained to release it down the governing meridian, which in Chinese medicine is the main central energy line. In yoga, we call that the Sushumna Nadi, which is it's the same line of energy. And we're using a magnet and our intention. I think the intention is the most important. I think if I ask the person, if Vishnupriya runs around the block 3 times, then will you be ready to let this emotion go? And if we get agreement from the system, that's the important thing. And then we release that energy. So for the emotion code, we use a magnet. I have one that's pretty intense. It's 1,000 Gausses. That's how you measure magnetism. And we roll it down the governing meridian. And then we check to see if that stuck energy is released. Now, if I'm working with somebody long distance, then I get to act as proxy. I ask permission and I connect. It's just like a Wi-Fi phone call. I'm asking, is it okay that we link up energetically? And then my body acts as surrogate, and we're able to identify the stuck energy, release it. And then I do a post test. So I want to make sure that that emotion did release. And more often than not, it does. And if it didn't, we usually just need a few more swipes down the governing meridian, check again. And then we go to the next one. What is the next trapped emotion that we need to release that might be blocking you from this thing? And I found it to be quick, it's easy, it's painless. My 14-year-old daughter, I know a couple different healing modalities too. This is the one she wants to use. So it'll be the end of the night and she'll say, Mom, can we do an emotional clearing tonight? And I'll say, absolutely. And I'll say, what's your goal? What do you want to be different? And she says, I just want to feel better. So I'll just say, is there a trapped emotion we can release so that you feel better? And usually maybe there's 7 things, release it. And then she'll say, thank you so much. I feel amazing. I can go to sleep now. So it's fast. You'll notice the difference right away.
Wow, that's so amazing. And I love the whole surrogation that allows us to start using these modalities online with, people from any part of the world. So that kind of amplifies the usage, how much we can transform at a very short time. So that's so beautiful. Now, talking about the topic of soulmate. So tell us how this can be applicable to finding a soulmate, and maybe you can also share a couple of stories if you would like.
Absolutely. And Dr. Bradley discovered, actually his wife helped him discover, that there's something called a heart wall. And not everyone has one. About 8 out of 10 people have a heart wall. And this is that when you go through traumatic or stressful experiences that hurt you, you build a little shield around your heart that protects you from being hurt. And that can start very early. A sibling calls you a name. A teacher says something that crushes your spirit. As we start dating in life, we have breakups. We have breakups with friends as well. So each of these traumas, sometimes we want to protect ourselves. Sometimes we even say it out loud. I'm never going to feel that way again. I'm never going to fall that hard again. I don't want to feel this feeling again. So what do? We create a shield. And for a time, it works. If you're being abused by a parent, definitely you need that, right? You need a shield. But as we grow and evolve, we don't need it anymore. And so we can ask the body, do you have a heart wall? Yes or no, first of all. If you don't, then we work on something else. If you do and you wish to release it, if you're at a time in your life where you feel safe to do so, and you're ready to be vulnerable and you're ready to give and receive love, then we get to work. And I say, okay, what is the first emotion that we can release from your heart wall? And we just start removing the layers, just like an onion. Sometimes a fun thing to do is it's a metaphysical wall, but we can ask the person, well, what do you think it's made out of? Do you think it's made of wood? Is it titanium? Is it made of rose thorns? And then we can muscle test that. So sometimes people will go, I think it's wood. And I'll muscle test it and I'll go, no, it's not wood. What do you think? Is it harder or softer than that? Oh, it's harder. Okay, what do you think it is? It's a brick wall. And I'll test that. Yep, it's a brick wall. And then I'll say, how thick do you think it is? Is it a centimeter? Is it an inch? Is it a mile? And they'll say, well, I think it's 2 feet. So I'll check. And I'll go, no, okay, it's lower than that. How much is it? So we can identify at the start, let's say it's 1.25 feet. And then we start releasing the emotions like layers of an onion. And then when we're done, I check to see, where are we at now? How thick is it now? So sometimes it takes, I'd say on average, about 3 sessions to release a heart wall. Sometimes as little as 1, sometimes as many. I think the most I ever had was 9. But this was a woman who wrote a book about an autobiography about all the life trauma she had been through. So it made sense that she had a lot to release. So so let's say we just start with session number 1. By the end of our hour together, I'll say, okay, we started, it was 1.25 feet. How thick is the heart wall now? Okay, it's about 1 foot. Great, we'll see you next session. We just keep releasing until it's all gone. And then pretty soon I'll keep checking, is there a trapped emotion to release around the heart wall? And I'll get a no. And so then I'll have the person say out loud, I have a heart wall. And at that point I get a no. And then we double check, I am heart wall free. We get a yes. And then we realize that the heart wall is clear. It's amazing. And then a couple of magical stories. I was working with a woman who had gone through a really tough divorce. It was very painful, borderline abusive. There was a lot going on there. She was in a state of distress leaving the marriage. And then she went through a very painful divorce. Lots of mediation. They had a son. It was tough. But about 2 years after that, she was ready to find love again. And so she came to work with me. And we found out that she had a heart wall. We worked for several sessions to release the heart wall, and it was gone. And the first thing that she noticed, she messaged me a few weeks later, and she said, it's so weird. People are coming out of the woodwork. Like guys that I used to date are reaching out, and I go to the grocery store and I met a guy who wants to go on a date with me. So it's almost like the radar, the message she's sending out is different. She's receiving information that is different. People are interested in now dating her. And then a couple months after that, she notified me. She said, my college sweetheart just moved back in town and we started dating again. And I think he's the one. And then recently, even right before COVID happened, the quarantine, I was working with a 65-year-old woman in Portugal. We were doing distance healing sessions, and her goal was to find a soulmate. She was ready for that in her life. And so we had some sessions, and I received an email back from her, and she said, you will never guess, I think I found my soulmate. And it was only like 2 weeks after we finished. And I said, what are you talking about? How could you? What do you mean? And she said, well, I started talking to someone that I met online, and we were doing FaceTime, and we had 2 and 3 hour conversations. And over the course of weeks, we were getting to know each other. And I think it's my soulmate. And I said, well, that's great, but what does the other person think? And she said, they think it's the same. They think I'm their soulmate too. And at that time, they hadn't even met in person yet. So it's so exciting to be able to do that. And then there are so many stories where people just feel different. They just feel lighter. They feel lighthearted. They feel like they are having a deeper range of emotion. So it's like the colors in a rainbow. Like maybe they were just seeing 3 colors, and all of a sudden, this is like seeing all the colors. You're feeling all the feelings. You have lower lows, but you have higher highs. You get the joy where they were missing that before. So that's what I commonly hear is like, I feel happier. I feel lighter. I feel free. And I just feel more connected to people, more connected to my loved ones, more connected to myself. There's not that blockage anymore.
Yeah, and with regards to the soulmate, I was feeling in order for us to attract our soulmate, which we have had difficulty in the past, I think with regards to the whole relationship, it's about love, right? So we need to have that love as primary emotion, self-love, love and compassion in general, in order for us to attract that love into our lives. So from all that you explained, I'm kind of understanding when you're working with your clients, you are helping them release all the anger and resentment and all the rejection that they have gone through in the past. So when all of these heavy emotions are getting removed, there is more access to love and joy and happiness. And obviously, they are raising their energy vibrations by releasing those lower emotions. And that's how I think this magic of attracting their soulmate is happening as a byproduct of releasing these heavy emotions.
100%. I think of it like at a cocktail party too. Like you might have a really interesting conversation with somebody and you're saying the right things and you walk away and the other person might be like, yeah, I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it. It could just be because like we are sending out energy all the time. So if we have an energy that I'm unavailable or shut down or not willing to put my heart out there, that can be felt energetically. Whereas somebody won't have a reason, they'll be like, oh, she seemed lovely, or I really liked the conversation, but yeah, I don't think I'm going to reach out for a date because I'm not feeling that connection. And then you release that wall that you put in between people, and all of a sudden you have heart to hearts with many people that you meet. You know?
Yes. All right, so beautiful. So now we are moving on to our mini session. So my dear viewers, I had this conversation with Kelli and I was asking her, what would you like to do for the last 10 minutes? Would you like to give us all a group healing? Because that's what we usually do in these interviews. And she said, how about experimenting with you? Would you like to do a demo? And I was like, wow, in a live show, you want me to experiment with me?
That's very brave.
Yes, but let's see what's going to come up. This is my first ever emotion code session, and it's a live session. And let's work on the topic of. So I'm married at this time, so obviously we can't work on helping me attract a soulmate. But as we discussed, we can work on improving my relationship with my husband. So let's see how it goes. I'm totally anxious.
Wonderful.
Let's see
Okay,
what happens.
so I'm going to start by asking permission, and I'm muscle testing my own hand. I'm using a hand muscle test. So I'm just going to ask on both sides. Is it, I'm asking actually your energetic self if it's okay, safe and appropriate that we connect this way. So give me a moment as I make the connection.
Sure.
Okay, I got approval on both sides. It says, yes, it's okay to proceed. Okay, so now I'm asking, and I'm really asking your super conscious. I'm asking your higher self, this wisdom self, this part of you that already knows how to heal. I'm saying, is there a trapped emotion that is blocking you from having an even better relationship with your husband? And I got a yes. I don't usually get a no. Usually there's something. Usually there's something we can do. So let me see what it is.
Is it okay to kind of show your hands in the video screen?
Yeah, there are so many different ways to test, But I like this one where my hand is at the solar plexus, and with my other hand, I'm pushing down. So this is a yes. It stays strong. This represents the arm. And then when I get a weak response or a no, the thumb goes down like that. So when I test and I say something like yes, 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 I get a yes. If I say no, 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 I get a no, then that goes down. So I'm able to get, it's just a binary code of communication. So I'm saying, what is it? And I already know it's in, I have rows and columns. I know it's in column B. So now I'm getting it narrowed down even further. And I'm checking, is it in an odd row? No. It's in an even row. Is it in row 2? Yes. So now I've got that narrowed down to 5 emotions. And I'll say them out loud as I muscle test. Is it failure? Yes. So failure is the trapped emotion. And I'm going to ask, is it your own emotion? Because sometimes we absorb it from other people. It's your emotion. Yes, it is. Do we need to know more to release it? Yes, we do. So if you don't mind, may I ask your age?
Right now, I'm
Yes.
29.
Okay. So I'm going to roughly divide that in half to see if this failure happened before 15 or after 15. So did this trapped emotion of failure get stuck before you were 15? Yes. Before 12? No. At 12, at 13. So something happened at age 13 with failure. So let me just help narrow it down a little bit. If it's either family of origin or probably something at school. So is it family of origin? No. Something at school? Yes. Something academically oriented? Yes. Something with a friend group? Yes. So tell me what happened around age 13 that may have happened within the school setting, but I'm getting also, it's academic, but also had to do with some friends. So,
Wow. Okay. So I'm thinking back. I might be in my 8th grade or 9th grade.
8th grade.
8th grade. Okay. Um, I think that was the time I started scoring a little low on my academics. So I had been this kind of a perfect girl during my school days. Yeah, I think that's when a little bit of change in my academics might have started, because I remember my 6, 7, I was like scoring a lot more, 95% or so, but maybe it kind of decreased a bit to 90 or 85-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Is it needed like a specific event or?
Well, tell me a little bit about the friends. Is that because you were having more interactions with people your own age, or were you having a problem with a friend or multiple people? How was the social life?
Trying to think. I can remember the 10th grade, but I'm nine. Ooh, I have to dig my brain.
That's
Um,
okay.
yeah, I think there were changes in the friend groups that I had. I remember some of my friends left while I was in 7th, and I think there were new friends coming into my life in the 8th grade. And it has to do something with failure in my friend circle with regards to academics. Is that what we are going at?
Let me see if we've identified it yet. So I'm just going to ask, is there still something more that we need to know to release this energy? Is there still something more that we need to know? Yes, there is. Okay, so now let me see. Is it more about academics that we need to know? Yes. More about the friends in your life? No. Okay. So with the academics, were your were you feeling like a failure, or were your parents disappointed? What tell sometimes just saying a sentence or two, like, why would you feel like you're failing? And then the emotion is ready to release.
Interesting. I'm feeling maybe I failed in a subject or so, which has never
Mm.
ever happened before. I'm just feeling it now when you said about failing.
Mm.
Yeah, maybe can you check if that's right with regards to failing in an exam?
It tests strong. So sometimes it doesn't necessarily mean that you've failed a class or you failed an exam, but there's certainly energy around that. So when
Yeah.
it tests strong, that just means that, yes, that's resonating as a truth within you. So let me see, is there still something more that we need to know to let that go? And I got to know. So whatever we did was an identifier. So now that energy comes to the surface of awareness, and now we can release it. So our bodies are made of electromagnetic energy. We are light beings, we are electromagnetic beings, we are pure energy. And so the way that we release this is through the governing meridian. Now, the governing meridian goes from the nose up the crown of the head, all the way down the back of the spine. If I were working in person with a client, I would run a magnet down their back. When I'm releasing emotions from myself or doing long distance, we just go from the nose all the way down the back of the neck. So I can use my own hand because we are electromagnetic beings. I can use this refrigerator magnet. Also, this is my high-powered magnet that has 1,000 Gausses. This is used for pain management. So I have this out. I'll use this today. So my body is a representation of your subconscious right now. So I'm releasing that stuck energy from the field. It only takes a few times. And then I check, is this trapped emotion of failure now cleared? And I get a yes. Now, sometimes it's a really clear representation. Well, why would that be causing me to have a problem with my husband or, block us from having an even better relationship? Sometimes it's really clear, but other times you're like, I don't know why that would cause it. Maybe it just caused a part of you to feel bad about yourself. And when you're in that state, you're not as loving as you could be, or you would take things more personally. Or if he says something to you in a strange way, you might take it as, I must be a failure. So it might cause you to be defensive because you feel that. So we release that energy. So do you want to see if there's maybe one more?
Yep.
Okay.
Why not?
Is there another? And I'll ask, is there a priority? Is there a priority emotion that is blocking you from having an even better relationship with your husband? I got a yes. So I'm checking, is it in column A? I got a no. It's in column B. It's in an odd row. I got a no. It's in row 2. No. It's in row 4. So now I have 5 emotions. Is the emotion depression? No. Is it frustration? No. Is it indecisiveness? Yes. Indecision. And so I'll see, do we need to know more about this indecisiveness in order to release it? Yes, we do. So did this indecision get stuck before you were 15? No. Before you're 20? No. Before you're 25? No. So now I'll just go 25 to 29. Was it at 25? 26. This is 26. This is 3 years ago. So what was going on with indecision?
Oh gosh. Okay. There were so many things happening at the age of 26. So I was like, even before you got there, I was like, okay, it's gonna stop at 26, and it was like, okay, 26. So there was indecision. I finished off my degree and I was starting off my business. Wait, let me get clear on 26, 20 to 2017. 2017, 18, 19, 20. Yes, it should be 2017. Is it 2017?
Yes.
Okay, so 2016, I had an amazing year with my business. But 2017 did not go the way I wanted to be. And today, if you ask me which is the year that you lost the most, I would point it down to 2017 as one of my the darkest of the years. But a lot of indecisions. I was getting prepared for my marriage. It was in 2018 Jan. And what I wanted, what I was expecting of 2017 did not go that way, and it went south instead. So I ended up 2017 totally closing up my previous business that I was doing. So indecision.
So let me see if we've already identified it or if we need to dig a little deeper. So do we need to know more about this to release it? And I got to know. We do not need to know more. So we're going to release that stuck energy. And then I'll ask, is this trapped emotion of indecision now released? Yes. Okay.
Wow. I'm already booked for your next session, my dear Kelli.
That's great. And now I'm going to disconnect surrogation and then we'll continue our conversation. So I'll just release surrogation. Okay, great. It's that easy.
Thank you so
Oh,
much.
absolutely.
It was fantastic.
And you'll have to let me know what you notice. Usually when I work with people, I'll send out an email in a week and I'll say, well, what have you noticed that's different in your life? What feels a little different now? So you have to shoot me a text or something and let me know if you notice any differences now.
Sure. And
Yeah.
yeah, being a healer and spiritual, I kind of nowadays I feel the energy a bit. So
Yeah.
I can already, when you're doing it, I felt that kind of release opening up. So my feedback is already there within
That's
me.
great.
Yeah, that I've been
Yeah.
experiencing. So
one of the best things I've ever heard. I was working with a 13-year-old girl, and we did an emotional clearing session. And then when she left, her mother said, the mother texted me, and she said, I asked my daughter how she was feeling, and her daughter said, like a feather. And I said, oh, that's the best. That's the best thing I've ever heard. That's
I think even children have that tendency to be in connection with the energy. And when we do healing sessions for children, they are the ones who get, immediate results and immediate feedback from their connection to, the unseen, so to speak.
I agree. Less resistance,
Exactly.
for sure. They're closer to it. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. We are over time a little bit, but I was enjoying it so hard that I lost track of time. All right, my dear viewers, you got to see, a live session. Totally. I was unprepared, last 2 minutes before I started the interview, she put on me in this
I know.
asking me, can you be my demo? I was like, what?
Thank you for your vulnerability. That takes a lot of courage to be like, what is going to be uncovered? So thank you for that.
Yes, sure. Thank you so much. All right, my dear viewers, lots of fun in the session, but I think you got to understand what emotion code therapy is all about and how it can help you. And if from my knowledge of all of these stuck emotions, at the end of the day, as I was explaining, there has been different paths in my life where I had gone through, just like how you saw the demo. 8th grade somewhere, I failed in an exam and I felt like a failure, which had been stuck in my kind of field so far. And today it's affecting my relationships. And that's normal. That's how it is. And there are so many different healing modalities. And the modalities that I'm certified in, I've done so many healing sessions for myself in different ways and releasing all of these stuck emotions. But emotion code absolutely blew me. It's so fantastic, and it's lovely because in other modalities I've never got to know, like 8th grade, right at that time, that specificity I don't think I have ever received in any other modalities. Wow, it's so amazing. All right, my dear viewers, I'm gonna stop here. So you can click on the link below to book a session with Kelli. And usually we give a 10% off discount coupon, but Kelli has offered generously a 15% off for viewers of 0 Point Healing. So if you are interested in booking a session with her, you have a 15% off discount for your first session with Kelli, and you can just let her know that you found her from 0 Point, and the discount coupon code is 0 Point. So do let her know and take advantage of this amazing discount as well. All right, any final words?
I guess just that this can work for anything. It can work for finding your soulmate. It can remove abundance or prosperity blocks. We can work on health and wellness. Is there something blocking your healing? We can work on evolving your consciousness. Spirituality, is there something blocking you from ascending? It can be anything you can imagine. It's amazing. So I, I, I look forward to working with some of you. I'm so excited. And thank you for working with me today in this beautiful conversation. And thank you for what you're doing, putting together a directory for healing so that people can find something that is energetic, something that is holistic, rather than the Western model of medicine that we see offered in directories. I'm so glad to have something like what you're doing. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, my dear viewers, I'm going to let you go. I'll see you in the next interview. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do subscribe and share this video with as many people as you can, especially if you know of somebody searching for their soulmate or in any kind of emotional trauma or pain going through their life. I'm sure this video can help them understand their problems, and maybe they can work with Kelli on releasing some of these emotions. So please do share as much as possible. Thank you so much for all your support.
Thank you.
I'm going to see you next time. Bye-bye, Kelli.
Bye. Thank you.